Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're having a great day. It's Sizzling Popcorn, and in this video, we're going to break down the Microsoft and Asobo Dev Q&A from yesterday. There is a lot of news here. We've got Sim Update 13 that's releasing today, or by the time you're watching this, it's already out. We've also got some news on Sim Update 14, World Update 15, some new planes, and a few things to expect in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and beyond. Now let's get started. Starting off with Sim Update 13, there are a lot of changes here. We've got the white dot fix, which will get rid of this white dot that's going around when you're using the cursor. And you can do this by going into options, general options, then accessibility to customize your cursor behavior. And there are two different settings so that you can either have that dot or not, and then some other behaviors. Other things include the horizon line being visible through the mounts and the objects. This will now be less visible, but it will be removed in 2024. You can't remove it completely with 2020 version without having to rewrite stuff. Stability and memory improvements are to be seen with some several crashes being fixed. We've got the logbook issue fix. They've added more compression, and now the size limit is 16 megabytes for your logbook. So, if you fly a lot, this one is for you. Up next, we got the World Update POI and airport fixes for World Update 3 to 13. Microsoft, Orbix, and Gaia Simulations have put a bunch of work into that. And then there's also some fixes for the 40th anniversary aircraft. And beyond that, we've got some 747 and 787 updates from working title. That includes the SimBrief integration on both payload and fuel management in the CDU. Wow, finally. It's like 3 years later and we finally got that. There are step climbs, EFB takeoff performance calculation on the 787. There's auto fuel system management on the 747. And last but not least, with the Sim Update 13, piston engine update from working title, and that includes some engine parameter changes. Looking at the bugs and wish lists, you'll notice that some items are planned for 2024 and others are 2024 plus, meaning that they won't be out at release, but sometime in the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 life cycle. So that doesn't mean in 2024, the year, but the life cycle of that new software. So some notable ones that have been put to 2024 and beyond. You have unrealistic airport lighting distances, aircraft specific control profiles, access to a flight planner without leaving the flight, seasons. I thought this was supposed to happen like over a year ago, but I guess not. Shared cockpit in multiplayer, that is not 2024, but 2024 plus. So in the 2024 life cycle, we'll see a shared cockpit. So that's going to be a long time. At the earliest, probably 2025 before we see anything with shared cockpit. The other thing that was mentioned by Yoke was actually there was a question that was asked about the Reno Air races. Was there going to be any improvements on that? And there's maybe one or two, maybe three little dedicated groups to the Reno Air races. But outside of that, it's lacking in playability, replayability, and also multiplayer. There's not too many people on there. Even when I went on the day of release and then maybe 6 months later, there was nobody. But Yoke did say that they are going to continue working with the Reno Air Races, the organization, because they just had their last race at Reno. They're looking for a new location, but once they got a new location and They're going to work and support the organization and try to incorporate them into Microsoft Flight Simulator, whether in 2020 or 2024 version is up in the air. But some things that are done include the replay functionality. There are no improvements on that are expected for 2020. And the DX12 beta is really final. Nothing else being added to 2020 on the DX12 side. And now on to the famous flyer number 7, which was supposed to release last week. Then it was supposed to release today. And it's still not released. But it has been announced that it is the Mitsubishi Heavy Industries MU2, and it is made by I9 Builds. It is currently done and awaiting licensing from Mitsubishi. So once that's done, then they'll release it, and Microsoft and I9 Builds will make an announcement about that. Sticking to aircraft, let's talk about the Local Legend 13, which is coming out from I9 Builds. This will release on October 31st, and it's going to be the Saab B-17. Take a look at this aircraft. World Update 15, Northern Europe and Greenland will be releasing on October 31st. The reason why they're revisiting the area is because the Nordics World Update was the lowest rated World Update up to now. Lots of data was not available at the time, including Sweden wanting millions for their DEM. This World Update will include new digital elevation map, new aerial imagery, 8 to 10 photogrammetry cities, 90 points of interest, 5 bespoke airports, 4 by Gaia simulations, and 1 from a local developer, 3 landing challenges, 3 bush trips, 3 discovery flights, and Stockholm is not on the list of cities as the ITIN is waiting for military clearance, which is expected to take about 2 months. On that note, world updates aren't easy to do. Information is not always readily available. Like Stockholm, Zagreb, and a couple of other cities have been delayed due to military and or government clearance. They will release at some point in the future. And Yoke also reiterated that they love the whole world. They're not trying to single out any country from a world update. It's just what is readily available. Such like why don't we have one in Brazil or in an African country? It's because the information's not available. And he even said that he was at a point where for Brazil, he was going to start his own company, get a plane, get all the equipment, and get the stuff done himself rather than trying to get someone in Brazil to do some of the satellite imagery and stuff like that. Looking forward to World Update 15 and the improvement, because I still remember how in Norway, like the forges and stuff like that, they weren't the best, but now we're going to have some better DEM. So it should be a lot better. And looking at these images of POIs, wow, that looks great. Last but not least, Sim Update 14, which should be releasing in November, December. Microsoft and Asobo are working on multiplayer issues where players are disappearing. I've definitely seen that. They're also looking at continuing the stability, performance, and memory improvements. Snow coverage, there's currently a bug in the weather calculation, so get that fixed. Performance decreasing due to pop-up panels, so they're investigating that. ATC bugs is just a continuous improvement on that. And the same thing with atmospheric lighting improvements. But the big things for Sim Update 14 is we're going to get 2 new planes. I9 Builds is creating a higher fidelity A320neo that will go alongside the original, as it's too complicated to change the missions and activities from the old one to the new one. But this one will be a lot better than what the original A320neo. So I'm looking forward to that. And the second one is working title is bringing in a brand new model of the Cirrus. So upgrading it to the Cirrus SR22T G6. So for those with a premium plan, you'll get a nice update for the Christmas season. The last piece of news is that Yoke is trying to fill in the void of the Dune DLC being pushed until the springtime. So look out for a nice treat sometime before Christmas. And yes, I said Christmas a few times. It's less than 3 months away. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.